folks, it's Rod with RK Auto Detailing, and I'm being a little sarcastic introing in here because my daughter's next to me, and we're going to go through her 2021 Blazer. She wants to learn how to change the oil, and being an AMSOIL dealer, I'm going to take the liberty to take her by the steps, explain things, and at a reasonable slow pace so she at least understands and can ask questions and do the answer. So I'm gonna bring her on. It was funny because she's looking at herself to make sure she's all ready, and of course me, and my hair looks good. So you ready? She's got her smile on now. This is my daughter Rochelle.
Hi guys.
And we are gonna take on this 21, it's a 3.6 liter V6, and we have the AMSOIL here. This vehicle does recommend the 5W30, the EAO 17 oil filter. I laid out the wrench, oil filter wrench, drain pans, and we have some shop rags. So everything's pretty simple. The other thing we're doing besides the oil change, and she does, she's very, she's like her father. She's very anal about taking care of her vehicle. This is her third new vehicle to yourself? Fourth new vehicle. She's had a Nissan Altima. She's had a Mini Cooper.
And a Mercedes C300.
Go ahead and explain it.
Mercedes C300 and then this Blazer.
Yep. So she has owned, new vehicles to herself. You have bought and paid for these vehicles. They weren't like handed to you or given to you. She has taken the liberty to make sure they're always maintained, oil changed, tires rotated, tires changed, brakes done, all the maintenance. And she has done a phenomenal job in just explaining to me everything that's been done to this. As she's been keeping this maintained, it is going on
3 years.
3 years now?
October will be 3 years.
October will be 3 years she's owned this. And so she's kept everything up. So we're going to rotate the tires. And so we're going to pull those off, but we're going to get the oil change done first. The dirtiest job, get that done. Then we're going to rotate the tires. And because this vehicle has how many miles now?
Almost 59,000.
Almost 59,000. She drives, she traveled quite a bit. Her previous job, you did a lot of driving, like 2 counties.
Yeah, 2 counties.
2 counties. For the better part of a year and a half, almost 2 years, 3 years. So, plus she's driven down towards Detroit for a few job stuff. So, we're going to rotate these when we get these wheels off. We're going to do a brake inspection, see where the brake life is at. I'm hoping to be at 50% or better. I would assume so, but she just wants to take the liberty to take that opportunity while the wheels are getting done. And I'm going to have her grab the sheet too, because we're going to take a look at when the dealership did it last. And the issue she's having and why we're doing this is the last oil change, the Chevy dealer there was no oil on the dipstick. She got home. How many days after that oil change?
It was probably a week, maybe a week and a half that I started to notice an engine clatter, and that's when I started to check the dipstick and noticed that it was empty.
There was no oil in the dipstick, and so we're hoping everything's gonna be good. I will probably do an oil analysis the next time through. I'm just gonna get that because they use that. That's what GM uses because that's what's on the paperwork that I saw, and the AC Delco oil filter. But AMSOIL, I'm pretty sure Wix either makes these for them or but I know the AMSOIL filters and the Wix filters for everyday usage like this, they're like the top filters to get. I don't skimp on oil and oil filters. A lot of people criticize me for using expensive oil or top tier oil filters. It's just say that my personal vehicles, I don't go to Walmart and buy the Fram oil filters. Sorry, I am not gonna blow $3,000 to $5,000 engine up on a $5 oil filter. So we're gonna get started. So again, anything you want to say?
No, let's get started.
All right. Before we get into the car, I'm gonna prep the new filter, and I'm going to show her what that entails. So I'm just gonna fill it halfway. I know some people fill them, you know, to the top, as long as there is some oil, so this thing isn't just filling up dry. It's just something I've done my whole life. Everyone does this differently, and I'm sure there's going to probably be some keyboard warriors out there going to get on here and have something to say, but this is the way I do it. It's worked. I've never had to recorrect an oil change from doing all this, and I've never lost an engine, blown an engine up over any of my oil changes. So that's good enough right there. I can see it's just getting absorbed in there. Lube the gasket, and that's good. I'm not going to go overkill on it, but it's working for me. And now we're going to get underneath, get the old one off, and put this one up and get the oil drained. All right, we're underneath. I got a couple of these wrenches. I like this one, as it's got that little bit of flex bend right here on the handle. And of course, if I turn it the right way. And this is a fun day, so don't take everything so serious on this today. But I'm just teaching her, as I think any father or parent should teach their children things to pass on. But I think especially girls, but even young men, I think a lot of this stuff.
You're gonna start going.
Hold on. It's gonna start leaking. See?
Yep.
And it's gonna get slippery. All right, bring it down. All right. And there we are. So, get this handled. Yeah, AC Delco filter, and I believe they're on the better half of a. Want to grab me a rag? Orange rags. Oh. I know when I've looked at, done some research when they've cut open filters and all that. AC's up there. I mean, they're not the top tier, but they're better than anything you're going to buy from Walmart. Or even if you do buy them from Walmart, they're probably the better choice. Nope, keep it here. And she probably could save some money by having another garage do it at a cheaper cost. It's still going to keep draining out. But she wants to learn how to do this and understand it. So, and I think you should have this fundamental knowledge, so when you are at a shop, you're not getting buffaloed or hoodwinked on, you know, upcharges or services that may not be necessary. So, if you want to go grab it.
Oh, I could have grabbed it.
We'll get this new one in, and we'll drop the pan. Just don't tip it. All right. Nope. Yep. Till it hits. I just spin it till it hits right there. And what I do is, you could see the sticker on the one side. And then take it and turn it till you get one full turn. You're going to have to reef on it. A little bit more. You're almost around. Keep going. Almost. All right. And that's one turn from what I can see where the sticker started. So right there, that's one turn on there. Hey, filter's on. Now we're going to drop the plug on the pan, but I'm going to get this out of the way. All right. That pink pan right there behind you, and I'll put this in it. All right. Yep. Just set that off to the side. all the oils contain, or the used oil, just FYI, I put it in saved containers, like super clean containers and jazz like that for my detailing. And I take it over to my local parts store that I have an account with. Take this wrench.
I think that's...
Watch your face. Punch you on camera. All right. This is... These plugs are always tricky. It's like timing it, how far out, and then you got to kind of move the pan around. All right. It's gonna right there be good. Awesome. There's the gasket. We're gonna wipe that off while it's draining. I'll let you torque it on. Jesus. 6 quarts. Yeah, it fades out, but it's still going. Whoop. So that's clean. Let's level that. So the pan's sitting level. It was off the side on the cardboard. Take this out and reach around, grab the camera, and we're gonna let this drain for a minute. It's gonna take a spell. If it gets much fuller, we'll just throw another pan under there. I want to say, yeah, grab me the other pan just to be safe. I think it's okay. Nope, move the camera. Gotta move, you guys. That pan is about full. I got a bigger pan for the 7-quart on my truck, but I don't want to run that to the rim. All right. So we're gonna go up top and start getting everything ready to buzz the wheels off. See how that backs up? So I had to slide the pan that way. There you go. And just let that drain. All right, we've let it sit for about 10 minutes or so as we've done some other stuff. Just kind of read through the owner's manual and drained out our oil pan into our waste pan. So go ahead and watch your... Yep. Snug it on there. Get that. I'm gonna let her tighten it up. It's not... I don't think she's gonna over torque it. Yep. Good enough. It click. And that was the torque wrench. So that's it. We're gonna go up top, start putting oil in, and we're gonna finish the oil change up and then get the tires rotated. All right, ready to pour it in. Trying to give her as much hands-on because I think a lot of this stuff is not just showing and explaining, but also the doing, getting your hands involved, getting your hands on top of that. So we're gonna let that drain. We did look at the owner's manual because I'm not all that familiar with this engine and setup. So we know the transmission fill is down there. It's got to go to a certified garage, and I'm sure there's probably a side sight level check, because there's no way, they said, unless there's a transmission fluid leak, the fluid's fine. Of course, they just want you to get, you know, that's their pitch to get back to the dealership. Belts, hoses, rear axle fluid, coolant is all at 150,000 mile intervals. So that we just, because I wanted to recap everything. So she's got an idea. Spark plugs, 100,000 miles on the plugs, 150 on the rest of that stuff. The air filter is, they got this DIC command center in there. It tells you when you should check or service your air filter. I'm going to go ahead and pull the cover off, look it over. If I have to, I've got an air compressor. We can just blow the filter out, put it back in at this time. If it looks really dingy and bad enough, we'll just go purchase a filter after the fact. But if the air box needs to be cleaned out from sand and debris, leaves and that, we'll do that while we got the cover and the filter out.
Ready for the next one?
Yep, turn it over. Nope. Turn the empty one over, put the cap on it so we don't, and then go ahead and start that one. We're just going slow and by the numbers because I want her to have that. This is the first time for her doing this, so
Yeah, I check my oil and do that.
she checks her oil and all that, but this is the first time like a hands-on dirty maintenance. So she's gonna, you know, and like I said, I want to go through and show her how to get to the air filter. I think every person should know this, regardless if it's your child, but any individual watching this video, I think you should know, at least grab your owner's manual. You know what? Take a half an hour and go through it and just understand. Like, I just went over the intervals of when things should be serviced and just have an idea, like pretty much the deep internal stuff. 150,000 from the coolant, rear axle, because this is all-wheel drive, belts and all that. 150,000 unless you have a problem or an engine code comes up in the, you know, current state. Spark plugs was the only thing that's 100,000, which I figured as that was on my daily driver, 100,000. So right around the high 90s, I swapped out plugs in that. So. But I just want her to at least see everything she needs to see hands-on and just have a good insight of your vehicle. And this is good to go when she gets another vehicle and just know what to look for and what to expect. So we're 2 quarts in. This is a 6-quart system. In this vehicle, it's upside down, but it's a 5W30 is what they call for, and that's what I like about AMSOIL is you've got the My Garage. You can set up your account and put your vehicles in the My Garage on AMSOIL.com, and that will keep all your parameters of. You can also, I think you can log in your when you do your mileage, but it helps to go and click on your vehicle, and it gives you all the listings of the type of oil, like your previous oil change, but what type or what viscosity of oil, to your oil filter number, air filter number, all that jazz. So it's stored right in there, so you can just click on it, go, and then just then you can just click and get it ordered. Because I bought an oil change kit for this and a Toyota Highlander. So that's coming, but I'm not really going to record that. I just wanted to record her because I think, you know, father-daughter time, and just getting, that's one of the things she was like, I want you to teach me things if I'm going to be hanging around you. So I'm teacher, she's asking, and I'm taking time to give her that, that knowledge and experience. So we've had a lot of good discussions and a lot of hands-on stuff. So she's helped me put the suspension on our golf cart. So she's been hands-on with that. So as my wife has over the years with my, as you saw in these videos, my lifted Ram. So she's helped me build that truck out. So my daughter just being, now she's moved back home, she wants to be involved, teach her stuff. We got two more quarts. So this is quart number 4. We get the, and this I lifted this up. It's level. I got the front and rear lifted up because, you know, obviously we got to rotate the tires. But the vehicle's sitting level, so we can check the oil. I'm going to check it after the 5th quart just to see where we're at. I'm not familiar with this engine, and I just don't want to dump 6 in, and I just want to know where we're at on the dipstick before we put the 6th one in. So other than that, it's your washer fluid. We're going to top that off. So if you want, right down here, baby girl, got washer fluid.
So that one or the orange one?
They're all, but that one's open. That front one there. Have you done that before?
I have, actually.
You have filled that.
I have.
Have you changed the wiper blades on this at any time?
Yeah, twice, actually.
Okay. Her and I actually took time. She wanted, she found out yesterday. So as you're doing that, give us a little insight. The difference between washing a car and detailing a car.
A lot of tedious work.
She found me critiquing that, you know, what it entails washing a car, and she got up this morning, she goes, "Dear Lord, scrubbing and washing and just getting into the nooks and crevices of this."
Things.
Huh?
There are two very different things.
Yeah, so your experience detailing your car and just me kind of saying, you know, here's these attachments. Like, I've got the equipment that's over and above like your standard car washer or a person that normally would have just a vacuum and all that. But I gave you, you know, here's this, here's this, here's this. If you want to get into here, here, and here, and you're like, yeah, sure, okay. Detail brushes, getting into the
Right,
vents.
yeah. I mean, you just don't realize all of the little intricacies of your vehicle till you really kind of start getting into the nitty-gritty and seeing what's available for tools and products and all of that kind of stuff. So to be able to see how different products worked with different finishes of the inside and the exterior of my car. I had some fading on some plastic of the exterior that we were able to bring back, which was pretty cool to see. So to be able to see, yeah, the difference between detailing and washing was kind of amazing. A little tedious and took a little longer than I had anticipated, but my car looks great.
So physically, being out of shape will put you in shape.
This is true.
So yes, it was labor of love yesterday, as I always say to my kids. So I always take time for them to give them some insight, some knowledge that they can walk away with and hopefully pass it on to either their if they should have children. I am not a grandparent, so both my kids have been career driven and very independent on their own. So no, any knowledge they can pass on to have that. So anyhow, we're going to stop it here, and we're going to continue on when we get to the tire rotation, because basically once this quart's done, we're going to check the oil, then put the last quart in, and then we're going to rotate the tires, because I'm not really too jazzed about starting the engine up on these stands. Not that detrimental. We can start it when it's on the ground and where it's stable. Make sure everything looks good, no oil leaks. Show her where to look for oil leaks when you start it up, and then after it's ran for a minute or two, then turn it off and recheck the fluid. So that's the end process. So pick us up on the tire rotation. Yep. So we're taking off the air box cover to check the air filter. I'm having her. That's good. And had to find a nut driver. Nope, that's good. No, get your bit driver. 9:30 seconds. None of the metrics. That's just.
Well, this one's not easy to.
All right, you need an extension on it. Yep, go ahead and do that one. Nope, that's good.
That's not all the way up.
Good. Screwdriver for the rest.
Yep.
Over there on the wall, clear and blue. No, clear and blue. There you go. Now you can get that one. she's gonna look up. We did find the intervals for the automatic transmission. Surprisingly, in the owner's manual from General Motors, they recommend every 45,000 miles.
90,000 and then 135.
Yeah, so every 45,000 miles, change the fluid, and that's surprising because on my daily driver, that's 90 or 100,000 miles on that. So I told her she's only 10,000. She's at 59, so about 15,000 over. So she's gonna look at her service work from the dealership from over the this last couple times in to see if they had done anything like that, because she always had them just do the maintenance when she take it in, and whatever was at an interval she just had them do it. So here, you got some on the back.
Oh,
Here. So we did get the oil topped off, took the whole 6 quarts. Yes. I'm lazy.
you're gonna need to get that one too.
So she's gonna look for the interval if it was done. Just like yesterday. I gotta go fetch that now. I'm sure I'll find it. Couldn't just fall on the ground. Just couldn't fall on the ground. Yesterday, that rubber up there popped off when we're washing under the hood, and I had to go fetch it in the front valance, and that's probably where this one went. Surprise, surprise. I think there's another one back here. Yes.
No, I don't see one.
And like so. Wow, look at that. See, that's what I was saying about the air box. All the sand and leaves, look at all the bugs. So we're gonna get the vacuum in here in the air compressor. We'll vacuum this out and then get the sand, loosen everything up with the air compressor. I would definitely say you're due for an air filter.
Yes, they told me I was due this time around.
Yep. So we'll have to stop and get one. We'll have to just blow this out for now and get one this weekend. And so instead of sticking it all back in there like that, we're going to go ahead while we got it apart. I'm going to have her vacuum the air box out. We'll get this cleaned out. And then while she's doing that, I'm going to go chase after a screw somewhere down in there. What a nightmare. So we're going to continue on and bring you along with us on this little fun adventure. All right, we put this in. I've been under the car. Used a magnet, found it in like 30 seconds, that screw I dropped. So blew that out. We cleaned that out, and that was really caked. So we used the, she vacuumed it, then we blew it out the air compressor, vacuumed it again, gave it another blowout, and that's good. That blew that out twice because we're just going to replace it. Go ahead and drop it in, and yep. That's just perfect. Wow. So just get them started for now, and then we'll go through and zip them.
Well, I'm gonna try and not drop this one first.
So as a father, I've been pretty surprised. She wanted to learn all this, and actually today she's gotten a lot of insight with her vehicle. So
I learned I have a tow hitch.
yeah, she learned. My neighbor down at I have another property that we go to and where I detail in another town, but my neighbor took his golf cart home. His wife's got a 22 Blazer, and he was towing it home with that, and I said, huh. So I went in the back, and so while she's getting all started, came back here, and I'm like, huh, there's that valance plate right there. I looked underneath, and sure enough, there's locking screws, and lo and behold, there's a hitch. And she was surprised, so I said, if you have to use a trailer, U-Haul, something like that, I said, you're equipped. Because I said, this engine and drivetrain setup is set up for towing. And they were talking about tow ratings and that, which don't get too crazy there.
This won't go down all the way.
Here, you swap. I don't want you to
strip it.
It's plastic, so just sneak up and then we'll tighten it with the screwdriver. Got years of this, and I don't want a Neanderthal because my son will attest to me using this. Over tightened his wiper blade arm on his Honda and snapped it off. So Bank of Dad had to go buy a new one. But just use your tools respectfully. Yeah, see, that way, because you can't really tell if you're tight or over tightening on this plastic with the impact. But it's good to start it because this plastic definitely is a tight bugger to sit there and keep cranking on. So we'll stop off. I applied with our business parts store here in our local town. So I'll have an account set up here by Monday or so. But
how do I know when this is tight enough?
you know, that was not actually tight when I went to, because basically I went up to the screw and it was loose already before we even put the nut driver on.
So you just do it till you can't do it anymore?
Right there. That's a good and snug, otherwise you'll strip it. But nope, it's good.
Okay.
So the air box is clean. This needs a new filter, which she was told on the last oil change that it was due, so she knew it. But we could see. So we're gonna move on, and we got the air filter. She looked at, did you look at your coolant?
Yes, I did.
So she looked at her coolant, because I topped it off up to the hash mark there. Brake, which really shouldn't have to check. She checked her, topped off her washer fluid. Transmission, she's going to look into and see if it's been serviced. I think it has, because I washed off the top of that yesterday when we were detailing, and the top of the transmission was full of oil, so I'm almost thinking they did.
I think I did too when I had my transmission.
But I want her to concur that with the paperwork documentation. So the oil's topped off. Is that cap tight on there? Yep, it's tight. It's on. Air filter. So power steering, I didn't see any to check, because that is the brake. Down here then, in front of the engine maybe. I don't know, on this end.
No.
Nope. So if there was anything, you know what? I forgot. And hey, I just realized that you don't have power steering, because my Ford Fusion out there has power steering as a power steering fluid. On the 2012s, and somewhere in the, you know, that first gen of Fusions and going forward, they have the ESP, electronic, or EPS, electronic power steering, electronic, the rack and pinions all electronic now, servos. They don't have power steering fluid, but mine has power steering fluid because it's got the F-150 motor in it, that 3.5 liter without the turbos. So you have electronic rack on this. So the old man, his few brain cells still living up there. So let's move on. We're gonna just shut the hood but not latch it, because obviously we got to start it, recheck this, but we want to get on the wheels and then we'll lower it down. All right, so I put her in charge of the impact. I showed her the wheel lock. She's gonna do the rest, how to get that. Let's get it here. Get the wheel lock on there. You know, she's never done none of this before, so she's asking questions. I'm giving her answers, and she's running the impact. She got the first one, and the first one felt like, because we didn't get it captured.
It was weird. I didn't feel like I loosened anything, but I did.
So here we go. All right.
Now do I just take them out?
Yep. So what we're gonna do, because this is it's not all-wheel drive, it's four-wheel drive to say, because she's got a button to lock it in, lock it out. But we're gonna go front to back, back to front on the same side. I'm not gonna do any crisscross patterns. I don't know. I'm gonna have her look at her paperwork and see if they gave. I don't think I've seen some of the paperwork on this vehicle, but I have not seen like a tire rotation and how they rotate it at the dealership. So I'm sure they probably have a sequence for every interval when they're, because they say every 7,500 miles to rotate the tires. So I don't know where they're at in their sequence. So that's what I'm just gonna go, because that's the safer route for rotating. So go ahead. Yep. You'd be surprised, this little 110-pound girl, when we were moving her, she was actually doing a hell of a job lifting and moving and all kinds of her furniture. And take this, just roll it to the back.
Burlier than I look.
So actually, she's pretty toned. But hey, before we put these on, we'll wipe the insides out.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yep. She's still got some girly in her. Touching the tire was gross.
I didn't say that. I said the inside of the tire was gross.
So.
Alright, so I gotta hold this.
No, just keep pressure on the impact so it doesn't jump off. Go ahead. There you go. Just so it doesn't jump off those keyways. Nope, you didn't get it.
What just happened?
Here, there you go. You hit the. There you go.
Nope.
Take your foot, stop. Take your foot, push the bottom of the tire in. No, on the outside. Yep. There you go. Take the pressure off the lug nuts. Because the tires. Nope, you're good. Yep, there, that's all you gotta do. See, just keep your pressure. There you go. And you can put the lug nuts right under your stool and yep. And I took time earlier to show her how to turn on and set the regulator on the air compressor. And I bought a nice Merlin tire gauge. So she's gonna do all that after the tires are rotated. Let's check all the air pressures. And I got to go through, she's got a portable air compressor because where she lived before on her own, she wasn't near me. She was 3 hours away from me. So that being said, she was very independent on her own. So now being here, she's got the access to a lot of my tools and stuff. So roll that up there and then we'll wipe out the inside. No, we're going to front the back, back to front. So... no, just lean the back to the toolbox. I want to take a look at the brakes.
Oh yeah, forgot we were doing that.
Yep, that's what you requested. So here, you take the camera. They look good. I'm really impressed. This is the rear, but obviously it's not like the front.
I was just having some shuddering on deacceleration, so I just want to make sure.
Get around you. Pads look great. I'm just gonna do a suspension check. You know, like I said, the car's young, but it never hurts to put your eyes on it. All right, let's take a look at the fronts. Should just left this out. Trying to get a feel of that rotor on the inside. This looks good. It's not scored. There's really no ridges. Very little ridge on the inside. That inside pad. They're looking good. Right there's the pad thickness, and I would say we're probably about 55-60%, so probably close to 50. I'd say right now she's still good on this side, you know, but I am going to check all four because, you know, we want to make sure not one of them's abnormally wearing. This vehicle has been driven through the winter, through the Midwest winters and the salt gets into these pins on these floating brakes. These pins are notorious for getting salt in there because if these boots start getting weathered and dry cracked or what have you, or if they use the inadequate type of grease that gets caked up and sticky, these pins freeze up from the salt, and the humidity this time of year will also deteriorate that. It'll just freeze these up, and I've had it. I can't tell you how many times I've had front brakes just seize up. Even on my Fusion, I have wiped out rotors because the pins have froze up, and then they stick, and then all of a sudden they warp the rotor, and then I'm putting new rotor and pads on like once a year. So it is very crucial. Make sure you use a good high-end grease that is salt resistant into your housing where the pins slide in. Make sure your boots are good and sealed, and you got to really do the extra preventative. But they look good on this side, so let's go ahead and get the tires on. She tried once. Here's attempt number 2. I'm just trying to help her out.
You're not really helping. I have no idea if I'm lined up right or not.
You're almost there. I mean, I can see
left, right, up, down.
Up. No, back up. Want me to do it?
Holy shit.
Turn out. No. You were better off the other way. You were situated. So pull your wheel up.
Yeah, and do what?
You want to look at your wheel and look at where your lug nuts are and try to get them lined in that position.
What I've been doing. I just can't. You're gonna have to do it. I can't do it.
Push it on.
I'm going to. I gotta get.
I jumped in, stopped and jumped in. Okay.
All right.
Grab your lug nuts here. Wow, these things look good. No, hand, put them on first. All 6 of them.
Now, does it matter which one the wheel lock goes on or no?
You're not going to use that impact anyway, so I'm just going to make sure everyone's like, what are you doing? We're not using that impact. I got a smaller impact to snug them, but we got to torque them on, and I got a torque wrench. And we have to look in the owner's manual because we looked everything up on this car, but the lug nut torque specs. But that's what you want to do first. Start them on like that. She didn't give up, but I had to stick a hand in there and help her get it lined up into the lug holes. And I realized when I'm sitting there counting it, this thing's a 6 lug. So these Blazers, you know, I've never looked up close and personal at one of these until today. But just looking how robust this is compared to, say, the Highlander out there and stuff like that. So...
Give me that seat. Okay, see.
Here.
I got it.
Up. You got it. There you go. Use your knees. Tuck them in. Perfect. Yes, yep. And that's what's nice. Just keep your lug nuts down there on that stool.
Whew.
Get one started.
I did it.
There you go.
Nope. Oh my god. You had it too far your way.
So what I'll have you do is grab the owner's manual again, because I think you put it away.
I did. Yeah. It's just underneath where the.
And we could Google a lot of this stuff.
Well, it's good to get familiar with your owner's manual.
It is, because it's specific to all this, and sometimes you can get a skewed search.
Which I've had happen.
Which she was finding, you know, and trying to find stuff that sometimes it'll give you, like, she pulled something up on this and it was given specs for a 2001 Blazer. So we just went to the owner's manual, and as long as it's within the specifications of that. And again, just so you folks know, to recap, I am a licensed mechanic since 1989 here in through my current state that I reside in. But I'm just teaching her how, you know, where to find everything.
What do you want?
It's going to be under tires, and it's going to be lug nut specifications, torque.
It'll be under changing.
Changing tires. Not changing spare. I saw that.
Well, it just says, yeah, no, it says changing, and then changing spare is a different page.
It should give you the specs even for changing the spare. Or no, if not.
It's just giving the spare.
Alright, then, because the spare is going to have different specs, I believe, than your regular custom wheel here. Go back to the index and see. It should have lug nut torque specifications under your tires.
And tire inspection.
tires. I guess go under.
Just tires.
Yeah. Or you can look under specifications. Wheels and tires. Flip to the next page after it. Tire size, tire ply, tire design. Alright, flip next page. Aspect ratio DOT. Flip. If you want to learn about tires, that's definitely the book for it. That's why I said everyone. Tire gauge, flip. How to use a tire gauge there. It should be high speed operation, inflation pressures, tire parameter. Okay, flip. That's just your tire TPS. TPMS. Keep flipping. TPMS. Ah, there's your tire rotations. Use this rotation when rotating. Yeah, we didn't do that. I just went front to back, back to front, but we'll do this next time. And tire rotation, tire inspection. So tire rotation, look under that. Should
I go under the maintenance schedule?
You would think with tire rotation it would give the specifications for the flip to the next page. Otherwise we'll go to that page just to see if it gives anything. No, back up. No, go forward. There was something on tires. Wheel replacement, wheel alignment, tire chains. Yeah, if you're in Colorado. Tire goes flat, wheel block, keep going. And they're just giving you all kinds of good information. All right, we're done there.
So you have multiple options here. You can go. You want? What are you're wanting?
We're gonna pause it here, and we're gonna dive into specifications. All right, I just took the book from her, and it's under specifications. So 140 foot-pounds of torque. So we are gonna do that. So she's over on the other side and pulling those wheels off, and then we'll torque it after we do all the wheels. Get them rotated. So, and then I'll just take that pattern that they showed here and just go by that pattern the next time. So she's been very good about rotation, which is usually about every oil change, every other oil change she's been doing. So this is her second set of tires. I actually recommended to her to get the BF Goodrich Advantage. What's your take on these tires?
I've loved them so far.
From the OEM that was on here originally.
Yeah, it drives a lot smoother, a lot tighter. I definitely noticed a huge difference as soon as I drove off the lot with the new tires.
Rain and snow?
Yeah, so far.
Okay. So as she is pulling the wheels off, I'm going to go get the torque wrench out of the toolbox and set up the smaller impact to just snug them up, and then we'll start torquing. So go ahead and explain.
Well, that one was a lot easier. I got that on without any problems.
But I was back inspecting the brakes.
I kind of started before he was ready.
Yeah, so she was throwing this on while I was inspecting the rear brakes. So out of the 4 corners on this vehicle, the driver's side rear showing the most wear by about 5%, 10%. But as I explained to her and what's been passed on to me, so if you're questioning why I'm saying what I'm going to say, is the driver's side in the Midwest with the salt, your body is going to see, you're going to see more rust holes on older vehicles on the driver's side than the passenger side, because of the opposing traffic on a 2-lane road throwing everything up on the vehicle. Also, you're going to get more salt and slush thrown up on the wheels and all that jazz. You're going to find that your driver's side is going to get more blunt of environmental wear from all the caustic of the salt and all that other acids than the passenger side of the vehicle. So just wanted to point that out. But I said 3 out of the 4 look identical. That one's just showing a tad bit more, and it's got a little bit more brake dust on the caliper, a little bit more wear. So I just told her we'll keep an eye on it when we do the next rotation. So she just wiped out that wheel. She's going to put that on, and she's going to want me to record her, hopefully put it on right the first time again. The last time she picked it up, you picked up the wheel the last time and it popped right on. Bingo bango. Flip your bottom of your steering around. There you go. Boy, she's getting it like she's done this.
It doesn't take long for me to learn.
So what I got is I got a little impact driver. We're just going to snug the lug nuts. They are required for 140 foot-pounds of torque. So what we're going to do is we're going to just snug them up with that, and then we'll get the car on the ground, and then we'll torque them. I'm going to do it in 2 phases. I don't know if it'd be smart to go directly to 140. I'm going to go 70. I'm going to go 50% and do 70, then 140. So I'm going to show her how to set the torque wrench up, and you're going to watch her do it. So she's wrapping this up, and we'll snug them on and finish up with the torquing. So I gave her the 3/8 impact. Go crisscross like this. All right.
Gotta tell that first time.
Yep. So what I did was, on that, you can dial down the energy on that. So grab your stool if you need it.
I'm good.
So I cut the power down in half, and she's just snugging them up good. Yep. Go back to your lock. Put your lock on. You didn't get it all the way.
I didn't feel like I did. I can't tell if this is on.
Snug it up by hand. There you go. There you go. See, so she's probably only giving it about 30, 40 foot-pounds of torque right now. That's good. Now wiggle the tire when you put that on. Yeah. Okay, hit your lock again.
What is that doing? There we go.
No, crisscross. Go
I
up.
already went up.
Yep. Now go. Yep. Perfect. All right. So we're gonna get the floor jack out, and I showed her earlier where the points were, because I had it up in the air before she got out here. So she's gonna lower it down, and then we'll get them torqued and check the air pressure, and she's done. Okay, we got the car down. She did a good job. Go ahead. She's starting the car. Watch for any of your oil lights, oil indications, warnings.
I'm also gonna reset my oil while
All right, everything's looking good. Okay, just let it run for a minute or so. Yeah, go ahead and reset your oil percentage.
I did.
Okay, so you're good today. It's always good maybe a piece of paper, or I think you've got a note thing back there, like because the dealership logs everything in their network. If you wanted to write into your owner's manual the back of the date and the mileage, and then I'll give you the oil and oil filter number and the type of oil. So because otherwise you can go to the Chevy dealer and they should in their network be able to pull the history on this, I would believe, but I don't know. I'm assuming it's not factual. But all right, turn it off and let's check the oil. Get our oily rag right here, here. Oh, either one. So we are at, turn it. It's like almost, you know what? Wipe it off.
Check it again.
Put it in there and just wait a minute, because you pulled it so quick. Give it a minute for that oil to settle back down in there. I'm sure it's still draining back, so give it a minute or two. So grab the torque wrench over there, and I'm going to show her how to set torque wrench. She's never had a torque wrench in her life in her hand to know what she's looking at. So flip it over that way, turn it until, what's that go to?
150.
140 is where you want to go. So maximum. Turn that handle the other way. Keep going. Gonna keep going up. Sorry if I was waving the camera around. Just sneak up on it and watch your numbers. They go 1 to 10. All right. Oh, back it off. I forgot. Sorry, folks. I did say we're going to do 70, so back it down. Yep. But I got to get bigger torque wrench because this maxes out at 140. See if you can figure out where to put it at on a 70. See how that hash mark comes down, so you're not at 70.
Now I'm at 60.
Gotta go up. There you are. You're at 70. All right. So the torque wrench is set. Let's go ahead and check the oil one more time. I do have some oil here if we need to bump it, but it should be good. See, it went up. Turn it. Yep. So it's right where it should be. It's at the very top of the hash marks. So perfect. And grab the big boy, that socket.
Oh, this was the right one.
No, the other way. Come, yep. So stand over here, push down, swap sides. So you hear it click, stop, cross, no, cross, yep. the key. Straight down from that.
Oh, no, that wasn't the key.
Okay, then across. Yep, you got it. Oh, bring it up. Bring it up. It'll wrap. We're back. It's the next day. The SD card filled up, shut off as she was torquing the wheel lugs at 70 foot-pounds. And we got to the 140, and she's 110 pounds and literally could not push the torque bar or torque wrench. The torque wrench was she was bouncing on it, so I had to stop her, had to go back and redo it, and I had to get on there and do it myself. She just couldn't get that constant flow with the torque wrench around and hit that 140 foot-pounds. But they're done. We did look over the underneath the engine after we got done torquing. There's no leaks on the oil filter or drain plug, so I just want to make sure, even though we didn't video that, but everything was looked over. We did a walk around. We did we checked all the lights, the turn signals, the backup lights, all that jazz to make sure all that's good to go. It's just something I do because you just don't want to be out on the road and have find out you had a bulb out. So with that, I'm going to turn the camera and have her give you folks her perspective of this whole experience, from the detailing to the overall maintenance on this, because this was about her learning and gaining some knowledge of nuggets on learning more about her own vehicle, because I think every person, male or female, should know this stuff, whether it's your vehicle, your house, anything you own. I think you should have a good insight on it, so that way you're not so reliant on always hiring a contractor, a mechanic, or a technician to always work on your stuff. Just the general foundation really helps. And the knowledge, and that's the other thing, her knowledge to get in the toolbox and understand the size of wrenches, the tools. And I did explain some off camera. Like I said, we burned through the SD card and I didn't have my backup. And that's already been over 60 minutes of footage. So we had to upload everything off the camera here and then finish this out the next day. So here she is, and I want to get her experience on this. So what's your final take on this vehicle here?
I definitely think it was a great experience. I would recommend it to anybody, especially women out there. I know it's not stereotypical of us to dive into the engine and learning about our cars or even knowing anything about vehicles to begin with. But I did have a little bit of history working in the automotive industry, so I kind of knew a little bit but never really dove in. With my dad having his background, I just thought this would be a great opportunity to kind of learn a little bit more about my vehicle, and instead of just driving it into the dealership to get my oil change, sit there, give them $65 and drive out, I want to know what they were doing, why they were doing it. And I also had a recent oil issue where I wasn't sure if they actually filled it, thought I had an oil leak. So just knowing that and how it works and why it works, just I think is a good piece of knowledge to have. So we started out with detailing and washing the vehicle, which was a whole different experience than I had anticipated. It was a lot more tedious and meticulous and a little bit more grinding than I had necessarily cared to dive into, but it was good to learn a lot of different products, a lot of different tools, and then we moved into the oil change. I've watched other people do it, but not really something that I had obviously done myself. Being able to see the different pieces and why you were doing it and the different tools, and diving into Dad's toolbox and learning the different sizes and why doesn't this one work? Oh, this should be a typical size. Well, not everything's going to be your standard size. So just learning, how to be able to transition into different stages, or why you need to look at a different side of the...
What she's saying is the difference between the SAE size, the American size, and the metric size.
Thank you. So, just being able to be versatile and changing, on the fly, and knowing what's in your toolbox to be able to make those changes. And then we went over the air filter, we checked the fluids under the hood, taking the tires off and rotating was definitely an experience that I was not ready for. But that was actually pretty fun. I did enjoy it. I expected us to actually butt heads a little bit, and we didn't. So that was a great experience for us too. I was actually stronger than I anticipated myself to be. I know I usually say that I'm a brute, but those tires are a lot heavier than they look. So that was just interesting to learn that, there you have to do different sequences with, putting the lug nuts on and tightening them, and, different torques that you have to do in different segments. It was a big learning curve, something that I definitely enjoyed, would definitely suggest. It was definitely a great bonding experience for, dad and daughter. So if you have, that chance and opportunity, definitely recommend. So.
And I recommend that any daughters out there, don't push back or be resilient. Some dads would love to do this. So it's kind of like on the fence, because some kids nowadays, to pry them to come out in the garage and work on a vehicle, I know it can be where the dad just like, I give up. I'm not going to even try with this child. But she was coming to me saying, I want to learn this. Would you teach me? And I kind of sat back and said, well, that kind of jazzed me up. Say, yeah, let's plan a day and we'll do this. So we did. It took all day, but we took our time, and because I had to stop and explain a lot of things. So otherwise things would have went more efficient, or I want to say more efficient, quickly. And but she was like, "Does this take this long?" I said, "No, but I'm doing the camera, I'm explaining. You're in there doing things where sometimes I wanted to jump in and like grab the wheel, throw it on there, zip it on, and all that. But I wanted her to at least, you can learn things by textbook, but until you put your hands on something and actually do it, that's when the experience embeds into your memory." So this is something I hope she can take forward and be able to look back on this video too. We did have a good time doing this. We did not butt heads because I've mellowed out my older age, and I know a lot of family members that know us. We have been we're always on the opposite sides of the polar system here of seeing eye to eye and agreeing on things. But I'm getting older. I'm seeing things in a different light. As she's getting older, she understands why I am the way I am, and as she's getting older and all that, then I have my son. So we got a Gen X, a Millennial, and a Gen Z in this household. So you got 3 different generations of 3 different mindsets, but we all are able to collude together to agree and sometimes disagree without the argument. But we had a great time. She's helped me out on several things around here. She's going to help me out with a lot of the business side of this as we go forward with the AMSOIL dealership. So she's got some ideas, and we're going to dive into that. So until next time, folks, stay safe. Continuing to work hard and achieving what you want. And like I said before in my other videos on Self-Educated Entrepreneur, if you get over there, to make time to do the things you really want to drive to do, you have to give up something. And so whatever that thing is that you have to give up, but you'll know that it wasn't so detrimental to hang on to that. So whatever that is. So today is Sunday morning, and hey, we're getting this backed out of the garage, and then we're going to go on and get other stuff done. I got chores around the house to do, and she's got other stuff to get done. So until next time, stay safe.